Well, it's the next morning, and we're down here to check out what looked like a giant Class A, just left and wrecked. But down here further, out of the pads area, there's lots of self-made campgrounds here, and there's some pits down here full of some weird stuff from when they had this facility here functioning. So take a look at this. This is one of the pits, and it looks like a drainage system of some type. That could have been a dock platform that a surface was built on. This might have been their fresh water or swimming hole, who knows. And then we'll walk over here to another pit just the same as that one, and there's this thing here, and it looks like there's that underground tunnel that goes to the hole behind me that had the white PVC spout going out. So this is strange. I never came down to this end of the platforms area. So let's walk around here. These are the only two big pits I see around here. Look like they had a huge fence around them and everything that's all collapsed. And there's another intake or outflow PVC pipe there coming out of the cement form. That's rather deep, and that thing's rather huge. So I don't know what this was. You'll have to Google it. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. And I thought that was a Class A. Well, it's the size of a Class A from farther up in my campground. And you can see the sun is coming up, and we are heading towards Bishop here next. So, yeah, mystery solved. Interesting. You can see this is part of the cyclone fencing that went around the entire area. It's totally collapsed, been ripped out, run over, destroyed, all the way around here. It'd be neat if they would put signs up here and at least tell people the history of what these things are for. Yeah, that's quite deep down there. Well, there's Spirit wondering where I went. So let me get through the wire, the bob wire and all this stuff here, and now that we've solved the problem or the mystery, let's get on the road. Okay, girls, I'm back exploring. No, you stay in there. You stay there. So let's get in and go, okay? What do you hear the other people around here waking up? Okay, let's go. Come on, everybody in the back. Well, here we are, early in the morning, entering Death Valley National Park. Like I said, we're just going to do a drive-through here because we're on our way to Bishop. We'll take our time returning when we double back to this route, heading home, back to Quartzsite. Well, from the entrance sign, the Furnace Creek is 13 miles farther in. Stovepipe Wells is 27. So right now, depending on which way you're driving on the highway, the sun is like in your back seat, glaring right in your eyes from your rear view mirror. Okay, here we are getting into Furnace Creek. That structure you see on the very top of that mountain a little bit of seconds ago is a place you can hike up to if you stay here at the fabulous Furnace Creek in Death Valley. Well, we went from 3,000 up at the welcome sign to sea level. We'll go down here to the fancy hotel down here, and they got laundry down here and the grocery store, and then there's a place called Texas Springs just across the street up here in the rocks. That's a good place to camp. They got a place for people that have to have their generators, and a separate place for people who don't want that noisy crap. So that's one of the nice things about it. This is a pretty nice place. Let me see, it's 66712 for diesel and 6 something for unleaded. Well, that's not as bad as I thought it would be. There's a visitor center. You get all your information you need. Camping, hiking, exploring, what to do if you get lost, how to get rescued. I saw a sign that said, yeah, Scotty's Castle is still closed. That thing was pretty badly damaged several years ago during one of the floods they had here. In fact, 2 years ago when I was here, I wanted to go see it. Couldn't. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. Okay, we're coming into Stovepipe Wells. I've camped here before. It's really nice. And you can cross the street here past the general store, and they've got a really nice restaurant, or they had. I'll be exploring that coming back because we'll camp here at Stovepipe Wells. Pretty nice. It's not that busy. And there's some canyons up here too you can go up and explore. Really neat. Okay. Yeah, Mosaic Canyon. That is a neat place to explore. Go right into the guts of the mountains. Okie dokes. Now we're going to climb up and over these mountains to Lone Pine eventually, where I think I might get breakfast. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. Well, here we go. Those are pretty rugged mountains. Beautiful though. Still, nobody has followed behind me as far as my eyes can see because this road is very straight at times. That is fantastic. That is just beautiful. We're on 395 north, heading towards Bishop. Let's see what gas costs here. Hoo-wee! Diesel, $5.79. Unleaded, regular, $5.29. Yeah, California prices. Here I am in Bishop, California at the famous bakery, Schatz Bakery. This place is huge. You could spend a whole income here buying bakeries of all types and breads and meals and dishes. It's quite the place. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Bishop, California. This is the outside of the restaurant, bakery. The city park is right over there where the A-frame is. That's where I park and just walk across the street. It's not that busy here today, but we have the bakery. We're going to head down to Brownstown, which I've stayed at before, for a couple days and just relax. Now back to the dogs. Here's looking back at the famous bakery. I'm told there's another bakery in town too, just as good. A lot lower prices than they have here, but this is something just to stop in at least once as you're traveling 395. Right across is a Carl's Jr. and then right here is the city park, which they've done quite nicely with. Information here about the native people and the history of the area. and a nice grassy city park. Then I'm parked down here with the girls, so we're just going to go down here and relax. I'm going to have my Danish I got and let the dogs out to relax and roam around a little. Of course, they have to be on leashes. Here we are, back at home. Well, we are here in Bishop, California, in a little RV camping area called Brownstown, just outside of town as you enter it from the south. Camped here before a couple times going through this way. Really liked it. It's just big enough that it's not overcrowded and busy. So the girls are exploring. We went up to town to Schatz Bakery. I got a couple of donuts there for a snack. Then we came down here and got ourselves a site and registered for 2 days. So I think tonight we're going to have a campfire and just relax and enjoy this nice weather up here. On that side of the campgrounds is a large, I think 18-course fancy golf course. But this is a really nice area. Lots of trees for shade, so you can find shade or sun, whatever you need. And then we got the Sierras right behind us as a backdrop. So we're just going to have fun. We're just going to kick back, relax, and enjoy camping here again. Well, this is our second day here at Brownstown in Bishop, California. I thought I'd give you a quick look over of the campground here that I like. I always seem to stay here if I'm not out in the outskirts in the hills of the BLM area. But let me show you what this place is like. And they got a really neat old west town out in the front here with rooms that kind of give the history of the Bishop area and its famous fishing areas. So let's go walk around. Well, first off, there we are in our campsite down here at the lower end by the main highway going into Bishop. And I'll just take it easy. There's 3 aisles going through the campground here, one on each outer side and one down the middle. And you can see there's plenty of trees here and plenty of open spots for sun. They do have power and water here if you want one of those sites, but for a dry site like we have, it was $35 a night. And then right through those trees at the end is the Sierra Range. And over there is an 18-hole golf course along that edge. So let's walk out to the entrance and show you what that's like. They have several bathrooms and spacious shower units here at both ends. Down there's the main entrance. And that's where we're going to go. Here's the main building where you go in to register. They've got food, supplies there, a little semi-cafe, I guess. And some of the buildings here aren't open. They have old carriages in the gray face building there, and an old style turn of the century printing press in the building next to it. And then out in front here is a large grassy picnic area. Over there is a dump station for RVs. And we go around here, and that's the main road you see going north and south. Then we have some other historic buildings to tour and go through, and we'll be doing that here shortly. They have the laundry where they have washing machines you can use. And let's go over here and check out these buildings. This is a neat part. It's kind of a facade of an old west town, and each building has information about the history and the pioneers that settled this land. Here we have a collection of old mining tools like headlamps, an old box camera, old gold mining pan, several different tools. Over here we have a collection of different apothecary, I think I said that right, stuff. Old kind of machines and stuff they had here. More old pioneering tools. Crampons for climbing the mountains. Torches. Everything the pioneers would need. So let's look into the next room. Here's another room that's got various items that the pioneers and people who lived here over the decades and centuries. Old, looks like radios, travel chest, steamer chest. This area is well known for fishing, so there's lots of fishing paraphernalia memories. More equipment they used on their land and farms up here. Old rocking chairs and everything they needed to survive up here in this country. Here's the laundry room, washers and dryers. There's the jail. It's always boarded up. I don't know who's in there, but it'd be fun if they had somebody in there, especially around Halloween. Let's go over here. This is where the smithy would stay, as iron billows there are missing, but that's where he'd do all his horseshoe making and repairs for the wagons and everything they had up here that had to function all the time. Now let's walk down here. And this kind of hard to see through this chicken wire, but there's some kind of an old car back there, and fire chief gasoline, things from the 30s and 40s.